Kevin Durant can't worry about being coached by other people. Kevin Durant's got to coach Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
And that's why when he went on that podcast, I thought that was the smartest thing he could have said by saying, you know what? I'm not getting in the way of anybody's money. I'm not getting involved this whole Brooklyn Nets over here and Kyrie over there. I'm not about to play mediator between this whole potential divorce involving Kyrie and the Brooklyn Nets. That was the smartest thing he could have said, PK, Christine, and Courtney, by saying, you know what? Y'all gonna do you, just like Wanda Sykes said, I'ma do me. That's what I'm going to do. He took the heavy D philosophy. I got my own thing, and he did the bundiddly D by putting that out there on that podcast.
He doesn't have to, though. He shouldn't have to. He's a superstar.
PK, you're right. He shouldn't have to. But this is the situation. Because you know this is a professional athlete. Sometimes you have like two guys that are bickering, and somebody say, PK, you're the captain of this team. You're the leader of this team. You need to get involved and say, well, I know the principles. There's only so much I can do. These two have got to figure it out themselves. That's what Kevin Durant said, saying, you know what? I got to worry about me, but you guys are doing the same thing. Brooklyn, you're worrying about you. Kyrie, you're worrying about you. I'm going to do the same thing. He's the smart thing that he did not get in the middle of that.
He doesn't necessarily need to get in between the franchise and the player. Why not just pull the player aside? Have these sort of conversations to talk about how things went down, to be like, hey, why don't we have a realistic look in the mirror? Because it wasn't my fault. I did miss 21 games in a stretch because of a knee injury. And we lost a lot of games. And we were the 1 seed, and then we went all the way to the play-in tournament because I didn't have you as my running mate there to back me up when I wasn't right. So I wouldn't fault Kevin Durant at all. If behind the scenes, like publicly, I got to credit him because it takes a better person than me not to throw somebody under the bus like that when I feel like I'm getting played publicly. But I just, I can't fault Kevin Durant for what he said, like you said about not messing with another man's money. That's fine. Go get your mans. Tell it, put him in line because who else is going to do it?
But it's easier to say when that guy's not Kyrie Irving.
Hold up.
Well, LeBron James is going to do it, Freddie, if he ends up going to LA. LeBron's not playing like that.
Yeah, but it's also business, too. You got to remember this. Outside of the players, as much as the superstars have a lot of power in basketball, there's still a business that's being run. And when you have one of your star players that's off the court for that long, regardless of what the reason is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't bode well for your fan base when people come to the arena and Kyrie's not on the court for whatever reason, right? So that stuff kind of supersedes Kevin Durant and what his role is for Brooklyn. He can't really get involved in that because that's the business. He doesn't own the Brooklyn Nets, right? He doesn't make those decisions as far as whether Kyrie decides to play or not. That's not on him. He has to show up and do his job, and he's done that consistently. So I think he's doing the right thing by taking a step back and saying, hey, listen, the organization needs to make the best decision for us as a team moving forward. I'm putting my trust in them that they're going to do that. If there's an impasse where I can now help out and say, hey, Kyrie wants to be here, let's figure out something to make it happen, great, I'll do that. But it doesn't seem that they're that close right now. It seems that they're a little further apart, and I think he's doing the right thing.
And real quick, maybe you're not comfortable doing that if you're Kevin Durant, because nothing against Kevin Durant. Some guys don't want to be leaders. How many times we heard from Kevin Durant that he just wants to play ball? And I get it, because that's his comfort space. That's where he wants to be. If he doesn't feel comfortable going past that line and say, yeah, Kyrie, they really want to work it out. Hey, Brooklyn Nets, Kyrie really wants to work it out. If he doesn't feel comfortable doing that, then he's not going to do it. And the best thing, if you don't feel comfortable doing something, you want to make things more uncomfortable by putting yourself in a situation where you don't want to be in and you're not comfortable doing that.
He doesn't need to play contract negotiator, but I don't think it would hurt anybody if he goes to Kyrie Irving and says, look, do you really think you're in the max deal? Why not take whatever they're offering you this year, ball out, earn your money with me, let's go win a championship, and then next year or the year after that, then you get your max deal. You're only as good as the people in your corner who can, give you the real, Freddie. And that's something that I feel like Kyrie Irving's missing out on right now.
He's always missed out on the real. That's the problem here.
I got to agree with what you're saying, but then there's also the other side of it as an athlete where, man, you only get so many opportunities. Like, Kyrie Irving is that good.
Right.
Exactly.
He is that good.
Exactly.
He is a max player when he's on the court.
Right, that's true.
So is he wrong for demanding it?
No, I would never say someone's wrong for demanding money, PK and Courtney and Christine, but here's the deal. If you're Kyrie Irving, if you've already sold the bill of goods to Kevin Durant and all of a sudden you realize that I don't want to be a part of this anymore, then if you can't bang on Kevin Durant for doing his own thing when Kyrie Irving has done this his entire career in the NBA.
I do think it's very interesting, too. I don't know if you guys heard Logan Murdoch over at The Ringer did say that KD actually feels like the Nets didn't handle the situation properly. So it's very interesting conversation, even though he didn't actually say it. He didn't put a quote out there, but there were reports. Okay, so if he does opt out, Kyrie Irving has a wish list down to 6 teams per Woj, with the Clippers having the best current odds to win the 2023 NBA Finals out of the bunch. The Knicks are the biggest long shot out of the group, with the rest sitting at 16-1. The addition of Kyrie would certainly increase their odds. I'm going to start with you on this one, Courtney. Kyrie throwing out a lot of teams for himself. What do you think the best fit for Kyrie is?
I think the best fit is for him to stay in Brooklyn. To take if it's a short-term deal, heavily loaded with incentives. I mean, pay the guy $50 million for one season. Don't give him the long-term security of this multi-year extension. He's worth, if you were to pay him $50 million for 1 year, he'd be worth every single penny of that. I just wouldn't trust it on more than a 1 year basis from right now. So this team, these two, had 247 games together. They've played in 58 together, their entire time together. Prove it. Prove that you are one of the best teams in the East. Your chances right now, the East is only going to get harder. So I think for Kyrie Irving to prove that he is that guy, a team that we haven't even seen how good they can be if there's going to be a trio with them and Ben Simmons as well. Like, remember, he is still on the roster.
Who? I'm sorry.
That's cute.
Did I say out loud? Bad Freddie. Bad Freddie.
But, I mean, Seth Curry's there. You've got shooters. You've got wing players. Like, this team can be really, really good. And also, he has $36.5 million, 5 million reasons, Christine, to want to stay with the Brooklyn Nets. He goes to the Los Angeles Lakers. He's taking a massive pay cut for somebody who lost out on $17 million last season for not playing in games when he was not eligible to play because he did not have the vaccine. I know athletes, like, you know, I'm not going to talk about anybody else's money, but I personally, 36.5 million reasons is all I would need to opt into my deal with the Brooklyn Nets.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.